Well, today, the vast majority of the world is formally condemning Russia's invasion of Ukraine at the United Nations. It comes amidst growing evidence Russia is committing war crimes by targeting civilians and using weapons banned from the battlefield.
Yeah, Pix 11's Henry Rossoff is live outside the United Nations with the latest. Now, Henry, what does today's vote even mean?
Well, today's vote was 3 days in the making due to this extraordinary special session at the UN. It serves to further isolate Russia from the rest of the world. A few countries like China and India did abstain from the vote, but only 5 of the 193 member states of the United Nations voted with Russia. Not company you want to be in. Dictatorships like North Korea and Syria are the only ones standing by President Vladimir Putin.
World leaders cheered a vote to formally condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine and its nuclear threats. Minutes earlier, U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, accused Russia of war crimes by targeting civilians and preparing to go further.
That includes cluster munitions and vacuum bombs, which are banned under the Geneva Convention.
But while today's vote continues to isolate Russia from the rest of the world, it does nothing to put a stop to Russian rockets raining down on Ukraine's largest cities, including Kyiv and Kharkiv, sending civilians into the subway systems for shelter. More still, approaching 1 million refugees have fled west, leaving behind brave souls standing up to the Russian onslaught, along with everything else we take for granted.
My husband, my home, my dog, my cats, my life.
The spirit of the Ukrainian people is inspiring around the world. On full display last night in the House of Representatives, bathed in blue and yellow for President Biden's State of the Union. Speaking of Russian President Vladimir Putin's decision to invade,
he thought he could roll into Ukraine and the world would roll over. Instead, he met with a wall of strength he never anticipated or imagined. He met the Ukrainian people.
President Biden says the United States will join much of the rest of the Western world in closing off airspace to Russian aircraft. The United States will also continue to make Putin's wealthy backers, the Russian oligarchs, feel the pain.
We're joining with European allies to find and seize their yachts, their luxury apartments, their private jets.
Putin has been huddling with some of those oligarchs as a few quietly begin to question the war. Biden today, on his way out of the White House, is signaling the United States and NATO allies may target Russia's oil and gas industry, which has so far been left largely spared.
Nothing is off the table.
Do you think that there's
And during that brief encounter with reporters on the White House lawn, President Biden somewhat contradicted his UN ambassador, saying it's too soon to confirm if Russia is committing war crimes, though the United States and others are watching carefully. Live at the United Nations, Henry Rossoff, Pix 11 News.